Well, hi, a very warm welcome to Dusty Shelf, and I hope I find you well. I'm really getting into my Langley kits at the moment, and whilst I was on my little vacation around the UK, over in Wales, I picked up these two little Locos. These are the England class from the Ffestiniog Railway. Ffestiniog had 4 of these. These are the small England class. Let me think, their names: Princess, Palmerston and Mountaineer. Mountaineer was scrapped at I think the turn of the century. It was a long time ago. And the more recent Mountaineer is Mountaineer 2, effectively. There's also a couple of large England Locos, but I won't go into those today. So I picked these up. I didn't pay a lot of money for them, to be fair. This one, not in bad condition at all. You can see the name on it prints. These are all Langley kits, but unfortunately with the wrong chassis on. It's got 3 wheels here. It should have the 2 wheels. So got new chassis coming for that, and this chassis, got plans for that, because I've also got a Langley kit of a Decals Loco, so that needs a 3-wheel chassis because you take the middle wheel out, so that's perfect for that. So new chassis coming for that one, so I'm going to put that to one side. And these two are what we're going to do in this video. So here I've got a complete kit, brand new, so I'm going to build that from scratch, and in parallel to take this one, which is in quite a sorry state. I mean, I don't know if you can see the paint, if that's coming out on the camera. I think the first job with this, get the paint stripped off of it, and then see what we're actually working with. Probably get the handrails off, get the paint off of it, strip the chassis down and give that a good clean. In fact, that's just coming away in my hand, which is good. There you go, got the chassis out. Give that a good clean because it's not a particularly bright runner. Build this one up, build them in parallel, so I can spray them together and just do all the bright work for Prince and Princess. And then this one I shall rename Palmerston at some point. Right, I'm going to be using this paint stripper from Wicks. I've mentioned this before. So this is, unlike Nitromores, it's not quite as aggressive. And I've found if you leave these models in overnight, this stuff does the job perfectly. So I'm just going to pour a pot of this. My old container here. Right, there you go, that's the mixture. And we'll just pop this in there and see what we get tomorrow. Right, in they go. Come back in. Well, it's the following day, and it's come out of the paint stripper, been in there overnight. Didn't come out in one piece. A lot of the parts had fallen off where obviously the paint stripper's eaten into the glue, but it's come up very clean. Quite pleased with it. I've just glued it all back together this morning. Now the little cap that was here, I've either lost that or it's dissolved. I think it probably dissolved. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that on there. This is just a paper clip, and when it's all painted, I should put that on as a gold dome just sitting on there. So if the other part obviously turns up in the meantime, I will use that. But for now, got the tender on there, straightened everything up, and then the final job that I did this morning is I just took the chassis, which wasn't fitting very well, and I've just cut it back so that it now fits onto the chassis that came with this quite nicely. So we now move on to completing or building the actual kit that came complete. As I say, I'm going to build these in pairs. Now, looking at some of the castings in here, I do think this is a later model because there's very subtle changes, very subtle differences in the casting, so I'm wondering whether they did update the tool at some point. Anyway, it doesn't matter, it's all going to go together the same, so let's crack on and get this glued together. I need to change my glasses before I do anything. Make sure that I can see. Right, there's the wire for the handrail. Just grab that cab here, and let's just tip these bits out so I can see what we got. Right, first thing I want to do, I'm just going to put parts in here that I don't need at the moment. So the tender wheels, pop those in. Yeah, the other kit, or the other Loco that I've got there, didn't have these locating pins with the 2 body sides, and didn't have the joggle in the roof, I don't think, so it is very subtly different. These do fit together a lot better than the other one as well. Just going to bend that. I should mention the kits do come with instructions, so so it does go round this way, but this one does have a very small wheel to put on, which is just here. While that's gluing down, I'll glue the tender together. Let's just do a dry fit. Wrong way up, silly me. That way round. That all looks okay. Glue this in. The wheel goes on the inside. Now, of course, these kits are meant to be soldered together. My soldering skills are not up to that, so I am building with super glue. Okay, that's good. Need to put these on. Just drill out those two holes. Right, let's fit this piece first. A bit of swarf got caught in that corner. Don't know why. Right, smoke box door, that particular way round, this way round. Okay, that looks good. And a chimney. the chassis I've got coming for this, I don't know how that's going to fit, so I think what I'm going to do is leave that off for now. There are all my chimneys, so I'll leave those off. Right, that one's now ready for paint as well. So, I'll just check this once over. I think next step is to go and paint these two. Yeah, they're going to look rather nice going round together. Now, depending on the order that I put these videos out, you're either watching the video putting the Ffestiniog push me pull you, or the Farley together, or the England Locos, but I'm spraying them all at the same time, so if you haven't seen one or the other videos, there's a surprise coming in what's coming in the future. Right, so the paint I'm using, it's an enamel paint from Rail Match. This is BR Crimson, probably slightly the wrong colour, but it's the closest I can get to the Locos on the Ffestiniog. Well, it's the following day, and they're looking rather good. Paint's taken quite nicely. Now, I am going to leave them for a day or two to cure. With this type of paint, what I found is if you go straight in and mask them up, you will peel the paint off. So it does take a little bit of time to cure. So I'm going to leave those. Obviously, tenders look good. Now, you would have seen on the video, I was also spraying a Farley at the same time. That's for another video. It's either come out before this or after, or when you're watching these. There is another video with a Langley kit of a Farley. But I think while these are curing, I'm going to turn my attention back to the components that we put to one side, and get a few of these painted up in, well, certainly the underside of the tenders. Get those painted up into the black finish that I require on those. So let's get these components out again. This arrived in the post this morning. Was described as a runner, barely running, so needs a good service, but that's to be put into one of these bodies. And then last night I spent a couple of hours masking up the Locos, so hopefully well, we'll see when we take the masking tape off after I've sprayed them. These are now all ready to spray, and we've got the under bits of the tender. Oh, dropped a bit there. And the under bits of the tender are all sprayed up, ready to go. Die-cast body on there by the look of it. I've got to remove the couplings. I'll do that first. Certainly going to be a squeeze to get that in there. I think I'm going to have to do the same modifications to this one as I did to the previous. these buffers off. Well, all sprayed up, and this is a bit I always find a bit nerve-wracking because I'm not a very good painter, and yeah, when you peel off the masking tape, I don't think I've ever done one that hasn't got some bleed through underneath. So anyway, let's slide these off and see what we got. That one's all right. A little bit of bleed through at the top there. Not even too bad at the moment. It's all repairable. Okay, on to the engines. That's not bad at all, even if I say so myself. Quite pleased with that. That's come out nicely. Oh, a little bit of a blemish on the paint there. That's a shame. Well, that's not too bad. There's nothing on there that can't be fixed. Just that's a little shame, but these things happen. Right, where's the other engine? There it is. Let's see what this one's like. Now, I've not had to use undercoat before on this paint. I wonder whether there might have been some, you know, release agent on the moulding. Maybe I should have washed them a bit better. Never mind, what a shame. As I said, my painting is never perfect. Well, still nothing that can't be fixed. It's always a worry, it's a major respray. There's another bit there, look. Oh. Well, that one's really bad. That one might need to be repainted. Yeah, that'll be a problem. Okay, so that's no good. I'm not happy with that. I have to think about what I'm going going to do with that. It's peeled too much of the paint away. Okay, well, that's not too bad. Could have been much worse. And apart from that last one that we took off, all repairable. Right, I've actually bought some grab handles. You can see here, these are Allen Gibson grab handles, or at least the stanchions for them. And here's the wire. Now these don't come with the kit, so I'm kind of hoping, you know, by doing it this way it'll set it off a little bit better. But yeah, very fiddly these. Yeah, I didn't really want to do that. Get them all out in one go. That's not a clever thing to do. These aren't the cheapest of things. Right. And this is, I can't remember what diameter wire this is, I think it's 0.4, something like that. Right, let's lift one of these up. God, these are tiny. Can't even see the holes in them. Got 2 pairs of glasses on. I just see it now. One on. It's 2 on. Nearly. Those 3 on the core, dearie me. That's what you call hard going. Right, this is the body that I drilled. Just put these, make sure they're all in one place. Do something now. Wow, that's very, very difficult. Now, if you remember right at the beginning of the project, I was missing this dome. I'm going to make this out of a paper clip. I'll just cut the arms off and we'll glue it on. That should, I know they probably didn't have a brass coloured dome on there, but a little bit of artistic license. Look alright, actually, not bad at all. Still need to cut those back a bit more though, that's the only thing. That'll do nicely. Right, onto the lining. So, doing the red lining now. I mentioned on one of the other videos, I've got a couple of Fiales from Langley before, and got a friend to line those for me. I'm not going to ask him to do this one because I can't keep calling him favours for painting. He's a professional painter, and yeah, he did us a favour, so I'm going to try and give this a go myself. So I'm doing the red lining today. This is using a master lining pen from RL Moore Engineering. So let's give it a go. Let's see if we can do this without making a mess. A couple of chips on that one need touching in. Well, off camera I've given both of the chassis a bit of a service. Now's the time to put some paint on them. If I can get the pot open. Right, I've got some blue tack called white tack here, and I'm just going to break a little piece off of this. What I want to do is, before I put these together, is just counterbalance the chassis like so. So all I'm going to do is just put that up inside the front of the engine, and we'll stay there forevermore. And then when the two come together, the engine will sit straight. Now, I am going to glue these together. Now, I can hear everybody shouting at me that, you know, that's not the right thing to do, but I'm just going to put a little tack of glue in a couple of places. If they ever need to come apart, I can easily pop them apart. But the way in which the chassis are designed, it's going to be very, very difficult to put a screw in here. So I'm going to go ahead on this one, get this mounted in, and yeah, as I say, just put the tiniest dab of glue on there to hold it in place. Let me grab this. Well, I did carry on for a little bit yesterday once the cameras had stopped rolling. I've put the little bar on the front. You can see the little handrail just across the front of the Loco, and I've painted the roundels for the windows and just added the whistles on there. Gave them a little run up and down the track. They're both running beautifully. So back onto the lining. Now, when I did this with the pen, which was actually a couple of days ago, but probably a few minutes ago in the video, you'll notice that I did red onto the sort of maroon colour. So all my mistakes, they don't really show up. I couldn't do that with a gold or a silver, and as I say, my previous Locos, a friend did them for me, a lot more accurate than I could ever be. So for these ones, I've come up with an idea. I don't know if it's going to work. Basically, with my best PowerPoint engineering, I've made up these shapes. Hopefully they're going to fit. Printed them onto a sticker sheet. I'm now going to cut them out with a knife and put them on the side, and hopefully they'll look reasonable. I mean, they're not going to look perfect, and you know, certainly if you have a look on you know, Kato do a version of this Loco, and obviously the printing on it is absolutely crisp, it's absolutely perfect, but you know, for a kit built Loco, I don't think they're going too bad. So I'm going to go ahead and put a couple of glasses on, pairs of glasses on, so I can actually see in detail, and cut a few of these shapes out and see what they look like on the Loco. Side. Do you know, they really don't look too bad. That's pretty good. Yeah, I like that. Let's carry on. Not too bad. I mean, they're not perfect, and I think with a better printer they may come out a little bit better, but yeah, I don't think they're too bad. They're better than I could do by painting, that's for sure. going to put a couple of Ffestiniog decals on the tender. I'm actually going to try and see if I can fit these larger ones in. So I bought these in the Ffestiniog railway shop. Quite expensive, £9.99 these were, but they're by custom decals. But I guess by buying them in the shop, at least you are supporting the railway. Right, let's try one to start with, see what it looks like. I don't know if they'd be too big. They look like they were made to fit. Perfect. Very happy with that. Okay, let's do another one. Right, done. Right, well, let's try and sum this up. So, if you're in the market for a small England loco, as I mentioned in the video, Kato and Peco have brought out the small England in this red livery. Now, the printing on it's perfect. I'm sure it's going to be a beautiful runner, and they're retailing for about £100 to £120, depending on where you go. Now, the retail on this kit, if you buy it from Langley's, I think is about £55. Occasionally they come up for sale second hand. You can pick them up £30, £40. But you are talking £30 or £40 for the chassis as well. Now, if you do the handrails, as I've done, and the names, which haven't arrived yet, as you can see on the video there, the names were £10 a loco. The handrails, just the little brass tacks on there, were £10 for both locos. So you're almost at the price of the Peco Kato loco anyway. So as I say, if you're in the market for a small England loco, you just might as well go and buy the Peco version. However, if you enjoy your model making, I've thoroughly enjoyed doing these locos. A little bit frustrating at times with the grab handles and things, because quite simply my eyes just aren't good enough. And I was quite pleased with the way the printing came out. I mean, it's not perfect. You can see on the camera there, you know, it does show. But I think actually, given the fact that these come off of my bench with my limited modelling skills, I'm really pleased with the way they came out. And to have two of them in identical livery, one prince, one princess, yeah, really pleased with that. Oh, and I forgot to mention, I did invest in the decals on the tender from the Ffestiniog shop when I was there the other week. They were £10 for a set of decals to put on there. But anyway, as I say, really enjoyed this one. Lovely pair of locos, and yeah, we've seen them running on the track, and yeah, quite pleased with the way they run, considering, as I say, you see them running on the track, and yeah, I'm quite pleased with the way they run. Anyway, if you enjoyed the video, please do give it a thumbs up, and why not check out the channel? There's plenty of videos on there. Why not subscribe? I've got another one of these Langley builds coming up shortly with, as you saw in the video, with the push me pull you. Once I get round to editing that, I've finished the Loco. Now that one's not a particularly good runner because it's not going around corners very well, but that's down to the chassis rather than the Loco itself. But the body's come out quite nice. I'm quite pleased with that. But yeah, that'll come on the channel in probably the next few weeks. I'm going to wrap this one up and just say thanks ever so much for watching, and I'll catch you on the next one.